So, yep, we're back. There's nobody watching, but when you watch the replay, you'll figure out what's going on. So, what had happened was, oh, and this is great because there's three of us in here named Jeff Morton right now, which is awesome. Watch this. Pow, there's a Jeff Morton. I'm a Jeff Morton. She's a Jeff Morton. We're all Jeff Morton. So when people actually come back and find the show, there's a couple of you logging in now. That's awesome. They are coming in. We're sorry for the problems. Don't know what happened, but when we hit go live, it all just died. So yeah, everybody's Jeff Morton today.
So I'm Agent Smith, and Isaac apparently is Neo because he's the only one with his real name.
Right. Oh, Sue's got hers.
Sue's got hers. So,
oh my God.
So Isaac's Neo and Sue is Trinity. So there you go.
Yeah, and the rest of us are just I mean, just saying. So you guys that managed to find us, thank you. I wanted to go back and post some stuff in some of the group, but I think that may not be necessary because people are looking at the YouTubes and they're seeing it. Anyhow, we're here. Not that my name is right, and that's going to drive me nuts. I have to fix that. That I just can't. I have to fix it on the 3 dots. That's much better. There, now I'm Charlie again. Let's make Rosie here. Edit name, and this is great video on the 3 dots next to your name.
Oh, duh.
But okay. I got you, babe. You're already Rosie again. So yeah, what's up, guys? It's Tuesday, the 9th. I actually had to search out the date just now completely. I just don't even know what day it is. So here we are. We have Sue and Isaac kind of hanging out in the back right now, and we will be bringing them in shortly. Just want to say, hey, let's see. We got Blackbeard. Yeah, totally technical issues, bro. Technical issues. Dennis Lewis, what's up? What's up? He said, good evening, Charlie, Jeff, and the boss, Rosie. Trucker Dan, there he is. Trucker Dan. Love that dude. James Bond, what's going on? Let's see, what did he say? Blackbeard said, hey, I have a student right now that has his own truck and MC and DOT. Wow, that's great. Who does he need to talk to get on with you? Oh, that's easy. Michelle Cantrell. Let me see if I actually got something for that. Let's see. Do I have her contact in here? I don't think I do. Watch this. Oh, this is going to be epic.
Yeah.
This is going to be epic. Watch this. Watch. Ready? Get ready to write a number down. I'm only going to play it for a minute. And here we go. There you go. How was that for having that queued up, right? It's just right there. Just bam.
There you go.
I may not know the number, but I know that button does. I'm just saying it was all over there. So I hope you got that. If not, catch the replay, hit pause. Kathy Underwood, hello. James Bond said he just took weeks off. Oh my gosh, I got other crap happening now. I don't even know what's going on. I didn't even turn my phone down. But Jesus.
Jesus.
Make things work. I want stuff to work, guys. So yeah. So as we have folks tuning in, it's going to be a low volume show today by the looks of people because they're so used to being able to just click off the link in the Facebooks.
Yeah, this is a whole new technical difficulty that we've never had.
Yeah, this was like a brand new thing that just like it all just. So Jeff's down in the Katy area, right?
Yep, Katy, Texas.
Rosie and I are at the house drinking coffee because we need it. It's been a long day and a long night, and we had a really long work week of 2 days. It just was,
dragging.
Oh my God, it was weird. 2 days. You would think, you just breeze right through it. Nope, not us. We can figure out how to make it long. Mm-hmm. Watch this. This will be fun. Watch this. Let's just sneak her. There's the Sue.
Oh, I see how you are slick. Hey.
So yeah. Sorry about all that craziness, Sue. We'll bring Isaac in here shortly. I just, it is one of those days. We were good. We were all grooving in the show just before we actually hit go live. As soon as we hit the damn go live button, it's like your stream stopped unexpectedly. You know, that happens when you get old.
You know, it's just because
What?
I'm on. That's
What?
why.
Oh,
What?
Am I freezing? Don't tell me I'm freezing
No,
again.
not you. You're not. But it's funny that you think
Okay.
you are, though. So yeah, I'm gonna do this fuel surcharge report real quick, and then let's get Isaac in here because who knows how long this is actually gonna work today. I'm just saying. CW, what's up, Alan? I see you, man. I see you. He said that was a fine statement. I'm just saying. We're all having our own conversations. That's right. I'm just saying. We're slowly working our way in. And Jason Caps, brand new signer right there. I like it. Dennis Lewis is up in Baltimore, Maryland. 110 degrees on a shutdown. What the hell is wrong with the world?
In Maryland?
That just sounds wrong.
Wow.
Hey, Ken, you know what, dude? Man, we had to rebuild this thing from scratch, like right after showtime.
Who knew that the Where's Waldo books would come and help us when we were old?
Right? I'm just saying. Oh, I had a new guy with questions on the other video. That figures. You know what? They'll find us. I have faith. You know what? Wait. Stop. Everybody
Fuel
stop.
surcharge.
I'm going to do the fuel surcharge. You guys are just trying to... Oh, my God. I can't even talk. The lips aren't moving. You stop giggling. I'm done with you two. So let's do this thing. Click that button. Pow! National average went down 0.145 cents this week to 4.993. I might have spit in my mic. That was weird. I drew a little bit. Sorry. That was wrong. The West Coast Bad 5 went down 0.173 cents to 5.630. So that's going to bring our fuel surcharge down to 0.63 for those of you who were guessing at it. I know a couple of you guessed right. I know Jeff guessed that one right. I just gave up guessing anymore. It's a change. We're down 2.5 cents this week on the fuel surcharge from last week. And the West Coast is at 10 cents. You know what? I'm done with this mess. Get me out of here. I don't even know how to act right now, you guys. Just seriously, like it's all just broken. Nothing's working right. I blame Isaac or Sue.
Hey, be nice.
I'm nice. Come on. Who's nicer than me? I am the nicest person you'll ever meet. Just ask me. I'll tell you. All right, let's do this. Watch.
That's what I was thinking.
Is he ready? Pow! There he is. Everybody,
hey.
For those who don't know, this is Isaac, otherwise known as Purple Yeti on the YouTubes, because that's what we call them. And I'm going to move you down here. No, that's not what I want to do. You. Yeah, that works perfect, because look, Sue's sitting on the perfect side of the screen. Look, this woman was thinking out her positioning because she knows I'm a little crazy about this stuff, and I dig it because the logo's not like right in front of her face. And God, here we go. Isaac is a company driver for Swift Transportation. He's thinking about making the transition from company driver to contractor, and it's still the fall is what you're thinking right now, Isaac. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, man, come on. I'm looking forward to this mess, right? Because Sue's just going to eat you up and spit you out. Like, no, I'm just playing. She's a nice lady.
Oh, I'm not that mean. I'm not
come
that
on.
mean.
It's great.
And hi,
Actually, I'm looking forward to her completely eviscerating my business plan, because you realize businesses have to pay for this kind of thing, to have consultants come in and tell them where they're messing up. Yeah.
Preach, brother, preach. Oh, sorry. So Isaac is looking to make that change in the fall, provided things line up and all the numbers start working for him. I got to sit back a little bit. I'm sitting up, but like I'm all tense for some reason. I'm like, yeah, let's get this thing. I'm like jacked up. I need some more coffee, maybe another cigar, and we can make some things happen. And Sue, I mean, just whatever. For those of you who don't know, This is Sue Smith over here, and she is one of our favorite OOCs here at Swift Transportation. Sue Smith's OOC out of Ocala, Florida, owner, operator, consultant, for those of you who don't know what OOC is. And if you don't know what an owner, operator, consultant is, that's like a driver leader. Some people call them dispatchers at other companies. She doesn't really dispatch. She really helps you manage the back end day to day. Would that be a fair statement, Sue?
There's that. And of course, there's going to be this evaluation. And hi, Sean.
Right. Oh, good God, I'm forgetting about chat. You know what, you guys in chat, I apologize. Yeah. I'm so not going backwards. Maybe Rosie will pin some stuff that I missed. But let's see. Confined Cooking is there. Sean. I like that guy. I don't know why, but I really like that guy. He's a good guy. So you know what? So I'm going to do this. Let's do this. Sue, Isaac, Sue. You have his info. And before we do anything, Isaac, I wanted to ask you on the air if it's okay for Sue to share your back end personal numbers and things like that, because she's going to have to go through numbers with you to be able to evaluate and help you, guide you through this process. Is it okay with you that she shares that information on the air? She's not going to share your personal, social data, that kind of crap, but just, like your mileage and, that sort of thing. Is that cool with you?
Absolutely.
That work for you, Sue? That works for me.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm covered. Then, I don't like signing stuff. I figure video signature's better. You're like, yes, I agree. You may have my soul.
Oh my
bad. Look,
Rosie, how do you deal with this?
It's 2 hours into my pills, y'all, and this is when it starts the shenanigans. I don't know what to tell you. Look, Rosie doesn't even know how to act. She just fell off her desk. She's like, she's like, don't bring me into this crap. I want nothing to do with it. She's choking on
just
coffee.
trying to enjoy my coffee.
Rosie, you have holy water with you? Please tell me you have holy water.
She's like, I'm going back to the phone. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. You know what? So let's do this. Isaac, Sue, Isaac, we've got the formalities covered, and we're just going to pass it off to you, Sue. Sue, what do you have?
Copy on that. All right. The number one question, sir. Why do you want to be an owner?
All right. I'm going to open the book here.
He's got notes.
yes, I do.
You got now that should be off the top of the head. Why do you want to be an owner, man? Why?
Oh, no, he's
Why?
got a good answer.
What's your reasoning?
Well, I tell people they have to write it down though, Sue. So this is legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
I guess, to be fair, when I wrote this down, I realized it kind of looks more like a mission statement, but I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. So what I came up with is to be the captain of my own destiny in order to provide the best possible life for me and my family by being an entrepreneur in regards to retirement, lifestyle, and philanthropy.
I haven't heard a much better one.
Very good mission statement. That is, that's some quality thought behind that one. Very, very, very nice.
There was
All
me.
right, so
I don't want to clean out my truck. That was my wife.
All right, man. Now, a little bit of this assessment. Tell us a little bit about your family. You got kids? How many kids you got?
I do not. I've got me and my wife and my dog. I mean, I got fur babies. So, I got one. So there you go.
Okay, I got 2 fur babies. I'll show them one time when they come running in here at one point.
Nice.
All right. So with that being said, what is your goal? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
So I've got my 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10 year. Which one you want first?
This guy right here. Love this guy.
He watched the other video, didn't he?
Yes.
I used it as a template. Yes.
So let's go ahead and start with
which one did you want?
So we already know.
Okay.
Let's go with the 1 year. Let's climb up.
All right. The 1 year, stay in business. That's my, just make sure I can keep going. Yeah.
All right. So when are you actually wanting to sign? What is your line?
I'm wanting to sign sometime between probably October to December. Try to take advantage of. Usually Swift does the specials around that time of year. Plus, I kind of am thinking that truck prices are going to fall a little bit. So I'm not trying to time the market exactly, but I guess I kind of am. I just feel like I would get a better deal than,
Okay, so they're not going to reassess them. They're most likely not going to reassess the truck values again this year. I'm going to tell you that straight. It's not something that they're going to sit there and constantly do and go back and forth on. So if you're waiting because of that, then don't. Now, if you're looking at market value and looking at holidays and the boost of miles because of the holiday increase, you need to be starting to look at September. Because that's when, every year these stores are getting Christmas stuff earlier and earlier. So it's impacting, we have Walmart Blitz over here in Florida, and I'm pretty sure that goes on in other areas. And we're building up the clientele. You're going to see that increase. Right now is the lull before the storm. So you need to make sure that you're looking at that and taking advantage of having payments for a little bit. Now, what price range are we looking at on trucks? What is your weekly expectation of your payment?
So when I ran my numbers, I budgeted $700 a week.
Just for the tractor, no other business net expenses?
Right, yeah, for the lease payment, yes.
Okay. So what year of a truck are you looking at?
I really want something. I don't want completely brand new, but I do definitely still want something under warranty. So probably somewhere between 2020 to 2021, somewhere right in there.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the MR program?
I have.
Okay. You understand that it has a warranty with it. And when you're looking at 2018 trucks, some of the 2019 trucks. So there is a warranty aspect to it. So if you're using the word warranty, let's reclaim. What kind of truck do you want? Because blatantly, you are signing I'm going to stop you right there. You're signing a contract for a vehicle that you are either A, going to purchase, you're committing to, and you better be happy with it. Bottom line, you're looking at a value of anywhere from $200,000 to $87,000. That's a lot of money.
Right. Yes, it is.
So, what kind of truck do you want?
I would like a 2020 or a 21 Kenworth. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for.
Now, don't take this by the bank. I'm going to say roughly. You're probably looking around $640 just on that commitment. Okay. And then you take in the insurances, you're probably looking around insurance and your fixed expenses anywhere from, let's say $950 to $980. Okay. Give or take. Like I said, don't quote me on it. It's just a rough estimate.
Right.
All right. What's your game plan with this truck?
And what time frame are you looking for? I'm looking, I guess.
Sign a contract for it.
Right. Trying to do possibly 36 months, and I'm going to try to get it paid off at the end of the 36 months.
Okay, I'm going to say that's likely the reality of that statement. Now, question, have you acted with a recruiter yet?
No, not really. I mean, there's been, there've been some conversations, but nothing, yeah.
Did you actually speak to a Swift owner-operator recruiter specifically about anything and have them take your driver code, your name, or your truck number?
I did talk to Michelle about 2 weeks ago, and she was going to.
She
Yeah.
has her hooks in you. Your name has now been tagged to her, and that's what we trust me. That's who we want you to talk to, just because she's my favorite. She's my favorite. Sorry.
I agree. So when you talked to her, what kind of pricing did she give you?
It was just a preliminary conversation. Like I said, it wasn't, since I wasn't really looking to do anything until the fall anyway. She was going to run my numbers and get back to me.
Okay. So one of the biggest things is if you're looking for a 20 or 21, make sure she knows that so she can keep an eye out for you on that, because the inventory changes on a consistent basis, especially the word Kenworth. I'm a Kenworth girl. Most of my trucks were Kenworth. Okay. But that word right there also has a high demand.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be on a waiting list for something specific. Now, I press on you on making sure that you know what you want and what you're willing to go for. Now, I just said I was a Kenworth girl, right?
Right.
This is my opinion between the vehicles. Freightliners are easier to get parts and they're cheaper. So percolate on that thought. So it's a factor that you want to keep in mind, especially when it comes down to repairs and things like that. So we want our personal preferences met, but we need to make sure it is a business sound decision as well. Okay. So, but you're going to probably be looking at a 3 to 4 year term lease.
Yep.
Like I said, this is an estimate. I am not a recruiter. I cannot tell you definitely what those answers are. Okay. So at the term of the lease, you want to buy out the vehicle.
No, I want to either at the end of the lease, I want to either buy out that truck or get it financed in order to buy it out, or take the money and run, take my savings and get out.
Okay.
No, I'm not looking to flip it into a new vehicle or anything like that. No.
Now, let me on something here. What else while I'm checking some information, what is the rest of your 1 year? So get into a vehicle, stay in.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to stay in business for that first year?
Okay, so, well, I've been with Swift for, 3 years. I know our lanes somewhat decently. I want to believe, I would think. So, I guess, can I get a little bit more of a specific question, I guess? So, like, are you asking me, like, what am I trying to save? Those kind of numbers, or what exactly are you asking?
Okay. So, all right. So as I ran your numbers, they're not bad by any means. So why do you want to be in Lancaster? Are you sure you don't want to come over to Ocala? That was a good comment, by the way.
I love it.
So you've done done well as a company driver. You were consistently going over, you've maintained really, really well. I'm not going to disclose those numbers. Those are yours. But in what you have done with Swift now, what is your expectations gross to make as an owner?
Gross, 130 to 135 gross per year, and I got that from doing 2,400 miles a week for 2,400 miles a week for 47 weeks, which would leave me 2 weeks of what you would call that, 2 weeks of vacation and 4 weeks of breakdown.
Very well thought out. Most people
Right.
think of those things. Great job. Okay, so as said earlier, I ran your numbers. So for the past month, I did two things. I pulled your paychecks for the past month. Okay. If you look at your paychecks themselves, of course, it has the breakdown of the miles. And then if you look on the bottom left-hand corner, it also tells you about your hours, how you log your hours. It's a very good assessment of yourself in how you can improve. Okay. So for the past month, let's go backwards. So through July 25th to July 31st, your miles were 1693. Why was it 1693? Was there home time?
No, there was I went up to Minnesota and there wasn't a load to pull me out, so I had to get some planners to help. I'm not gonna say anything, but I almost sat for a couple of days, but thankfully I was able to get out eventually. So it was just I went into a dead area for the last week.
Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot per se quote on what the market did last week since I was out. So hey, I try to watch, but it happens.
Right.
So I can't necessarily quote on that. Now, when you reached out to the planners, I actually had a conversation with one of my owners today before I left the office. How are you reaching out to these planners?
I have planners' phone numbers, so like I call them depending on what area that I have. I've worked on trying to work on relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, I just if I'm in trouble, depending on what area I'm in, I'll call a certain planner, and generally they help me out. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's the most important thing, is that you are utilizing beyond just the macro 10. You are utilizing your direct contacts, doing macro and things.
I can't do the macro 10s very well because I can't communicate what I need to communicate in 140 characters or less. I got the same problem with Twitter. Yeah, I can't do it. So
okay. I do know it's very rough at times to reach planners by phone.
Yeah.
So are you utilizing macro 13? So you're getting a direct message to your contact?
Every once in a while, yeah, but generally yeah.
Okay. All right. So dead zone there. So let's go on to the next week.
Mm-hmm.
July 18th through the 24th. Now you did really well on that one. 2661. All right. So that's over your goal of 2,400, which is great. Now, on your total on-duty time, that means including your drive time overall.
Mm-hmm.
So you were working 9.3 hours per day, average. Now, how I did these calculations was I went ahead and divided it by 6 instead of 7 days. Because I want to spend more time. I'm sorry, lazy. Didn't want to dig into your logs and see how you ran.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So I just went ahead and used the safe number of 6. 9.25 hour day. That's not a bad day. Nice job on that. Now, the week after that, the 11th through the 17th, that's 25.55. Once again, over your expected range. And then your average hours for those days was 9 and 19. So once again, good, strong per day effort. And then the last day of the month was 21. So a little shy of your expectations, which your average was 8 hours per day. So those are factors that you want to keep in mind. So those numbers again, 16.9. So we're just going to go off of just that month alone. Ooh, wait, man, completely wrong there. Sorry if you hear that snoring, that's my dog. I swear it's my dog. All right, so your average for the month is $22.72. Okay, so that's below your expectation overall for the month. So you want to assess not only weekly, but you also want to assess monthly, quarterly on seeing your progress. So that may be something that you want to consider in your calculations is backtracking. I mean, because your payroll, I mean, you have access to your payroll. You can take a look, maybe the last 6 months, figure out what your averages are for the last 6 months and see if you can condense it down and work it from there. Because the other aspect that I did is I actually pulled the last 90 days. So in the month of May, you average now, and Jeffrey ran away. Jeffrey can contest this. In the accounting aspect, you always account a month as 4.5 weeks. It's not 4 because you have those off weeks where it's 5 or half a month or whatnot. So the month of May actually truly did. I double checked the calendar. Did had 4 weeks. So I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt on when I was doing the calculations. Your average in May was 1991. Okay. In June, your average for a 4-week running was 1987. July, awesome job in July, 2301. So you were increasing on that and off of a 4.5 average. Okay. So nice job. You want to look at the facts. You want to look at your true numbers because everything that you have to do, you have to evaluate and prepare for worst case scenarios. And you may want to do that meeting with ATBS, especially looking at the bottom line, see where your losses are, consider how much you're going to put aside for your nest egg and to protect yourself, especially since you've already considered breakdown. All right. You have the communication factor. You know what you want to average per week and your yearly gross. So with the yearly gross, what are you estimating on net?
75 to 80 net. Did I drop out?
Now, if we go back.
No, you're there.
Okay.
So I'm going to go off of the break even middle range of what I told you. I told you 950 to 980 would be your fixed expense, not including your fuel. Just your truck payment alone, 52 weeks, that's $50,000. $50,700. Now, Jeffrey, what would you say your yearly call is?
Right now, based it off the last couple of weeks here. Cost of fuel, not including surcharge, would be about $93,000. Now, I'll say though that with fuel this high, which is not normal for us, the fuel surcharge is covering that for us. So that's
right.
It really depends on what fuel does, but based off the last month, I'm spending about $1,800 out of pocket for fuel, and then my surcharge is coming in at around $1,900. So I'm actually making about $100 a week off of fuel. So what happens though is as the fuel prices go down like they are right now, that profit for the fuel surcharge starts shrinking. So you're going to want to base it more on some long-term numbers Yeah. So do you want to include fuel surcharge in that or just the raw number?
Well, he was saying
'Cause,
gross,
right-
estimated gross is 130 to 135. Because this is where it comes into a problem. So his fixed expenses. So if you take 975 and then times that by 52 weeks, because since there's no break on that, that's 50,700. And then you take your 93,000, that's 143,700. So he's already in a deficit in what he's figuring on his gross.
Right. So, but if we use current numbers, so you were saying he's doing about 2,400 miles a week, and he wants to work
That is
47 weeks
one
out of the year.
check.
So if he makes that number,
reality or less, let's use the reality numbers.
Yeah, let's use reality. So
For the past 3 months, 2,093. This is average
2,093
miles.
times 47 weeks he wants to work. That's 98,371 miles. If we use this week as gospel, which is not going to be true next week or the week after, we're making $1.78 a mile, including surcharge. So that's $175,100.38 for the year.
I calculated fuel 2,400, 7.5 miles per gallon, 15,000 gallons for the year, $75,049.60 based on this week's average cost.
Some of us drive in the western region, though. So
I'm just saying, man.
And he is OTR.
I mean, we gotta pick a number to work
you
with.
gotta pick a number.
Average?
So picking the number of this week's numbers, if they remained constant, you would make a gross of 175,100 for the year using this week's numbers.
Okay, so
that's including surcharge and everything.
So your net would be 31,400. That doesn't include breakdowns.
Right. So one of the things that's important to understand too is you're not going to pay taxes on that amount of money.
Correct.
So there's that.
And you got to put money aside for that.
And when I sit down with people, keep in mind too what your goal is to own that truck at the end. So you're going to need to include if you do an MRP, you're going to have to include about $224 a week for that balloon payment at the end. Otherwise, you're going to end up going to a bank. Which going to a bank for that, if you can get financing, it depends on what things do. But at current interest rates, it's going to be interesting to try and get a $35,000 loan for a truck. People do it. I mean, Charlie bought a truck on the outside on his credit, so I guess it can be done.
That was great.
But
jab a man while you're at it. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
the other thing too So Sue, the other thing I need to point out too is if he's getting a newer truck, right? My numbers are based on a truck that right now is only getting 7.2 miles per gallon. It's old. It's 6 years old. So I'm starting to lose fuel mileage because of that. Right. So he should be getting be getting at least 8. He should be getting at least 8 in an 18 Freightliner or Kenworth, right? Charlie?
Yeah.
It depends on how he drives. So what year is your current truck?
Right.
Isaac?
Current truck's a 21 Volvo.
Okay. Do you know what the fuel mileage
So
is on that in
within
reality?
that, so yeah. So in the month of May, 6.5, June, 6.2, July, 7.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So, with that, let me ask you, what is your driving style right now? Are you driving pedal on the floor because it makes sense as a company driver? I mean, it just makes sense as a company driver to drive with your foot on the floor and get as many miles as you possibly can when you're running.
Yeah, exactly. So when I started to actually really like start driving my truck the way I felt like I would drive it when I actually leased one. So about 2, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, I started driving, slower. So like the fastest I go now is like 62, and I run everything west of St. Louis. So I spend most of my time in Colorado, Utah, the Northwest, sometimes California. So I'm not getting great fuel mileage, but it's definitely better than what I was doing now.
Right.
So I've been tracking it with fuel gauges and stuff like that. And over the last 2 weeks, fuel gauges said I did 8.1 as an average.
Cool.
Are
So
you
you're
doing it
you're
by
in the right
trip?
side of that.
If he's
What'd she
using
say?
fuel
I'm
gauges,
sorry, what?
he's doing it. If he's using fuel gauges, he's entering data in every time he puts fuel in the tank.
Right.
Yes,
So,
that's
and that
right.
accounts for every mile and every gallon the truck runs.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's true.
All right.
It's true fuel mileage.
All right. So I mean that's definitely a big difference. Now, I didn't do for this month. So let's see if I can see that improvement.
Just so you know, Sue, I've seen some pretty drastic discrepancies between gauges and how Swift tracks the fuel on their end. I don't know what I don't know what their calculus is. I just know that there can be some really big differences from what Swift tracks on fuel mileage versus what we track true on gauges.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say so at the same time on that. We are talking about, a system that we also utilize, Zonar. Oh, did I say that? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Oh
Oops.
my gosh. Everybody loves
But
Zonar.
I mean, this is supposed to pull from the truck. So, but truly and honestly, I've always told everybody, if you're going to really measure your fuel, you should do it by each fill up. You keep all your receipts. It does the same thing as gauges, but I've always done it manually, until you actually fill up the tank and then divide your numbers out there to find what your truest numbers are. Because even the truck can be wrong. They're going to be wrong. The data that we get on our end is going to be wrong. I mean, that's the true sense of getting your accuracy on that. So just be mindful of how you run. And as we've all discussed too, it's finding the best efficiency of your engine and how you run it. All right. So let's pull back over. It's kind of a scary thought. 31,400. You're gonna make me have to squint.
That's mine. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my lifetime average right now, 8.94. Just saying.
Put that away.
Very nice.
I apologize.
Showing on the flatland over here.
So one of the things we can do, Isaac, by the way, is once you have a truck, we can get with Bruce Mallison and ask him what's the sweet spot on that truck to drive it. At what RPM?
Yeah.
Because like Charlie's finding out, he was doing 55 for a while, but his truck sits better at, what was it, 57 or something like that?
Yeah, 58.
Yeah. That seems to be his sweet spot. It's a little bit faster than he was doing. Because you have that mechanical, what do they call it, Charlie? Mechanical
advantage.
Advantage.
That man right there.
If you keep it in that zone that it was designed to run in. So
You know, and there is some serious viability, but here's my discrepancy when you say speeds. I am definitely more of RPMs, because you don't only drive on the interstate. You drive highways, you're on, these smaller roads. Are you adjusting accordingly to that engine's needs? Adjusting your speed. Know that spot on the truck, you can, whether it's 2 miles per hour difference because of your range of your RPMs, it changes the way you drive. And that little bit of adjustments can do overall large changes for your vehicle as well. So that's why I'm more of RPMs versus setting a range of miles per gallon or miles per hour. Sorry. So that's just another train of thought to keep in mind as well. All right. So I think that the basis of our numbers may be off on this as well. How I have seen some of your numbers and also your behavior of driving, I'd say that you would definitely make more. I may consider a lower weekly cost vehicle. Because when you take into consideration of field vehicles, you definitely have to consider it and factor in there is going to be downtime. There is no doubt there is going to be downtime. The wonderful thing about having the Swift network and the support that you do receive from Swift is that if your truck is in for a major repair, you can get yourself into a rental and just keep rolling. And that's a nice benefit that most companies, especially those that have their own authority, they don't have access to that. Or they can go to Penske and rent a truck, and I guarantee you those prices are extremely high. And it's an option that is available to you. And the payment that you have to come out on the balloon, like Jeffrey was saying, you're looking about 80,000-90,000, somewhere around there for an MRP buyout. For one of the newer trucks, to be honest, I couldn't find my report on it. So I don't even want to give you any number stating on that, because I don't want to mislead you by any means. In the report that I have here, I am concerned about your miles per gallon. Just continue to work on that. Your safety score is wonderful. Nice job. Average day hours, great. And I did notice that, tell me the accuracy of this. This also, it's the human element. So on the back end, we have to enter in that you're at home. And so this aspect could be incorrect depending on how accurate the person is on your end on entering this. Seriously, since the month between May and July, you only took 2 days off? Is that correct?
I've taken of actual home time in the 3 years I've been with Swift, I've taken 11 days off.
Okay.
Why? Because my wife rides with me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story. That's a big game changer.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
So do you have
now?
do you have a place that you pay for that you go home to, or are you guys
No,
just living in the truck?
So what happened was back in 2019, the oil field fell out, and I did 12 years in the oil field, and I made it through all of them. But 2019, it finally got me. So I, found out about, I decided that I wanted to try trucking, and so 2019, I found out about Swift, and so I decided, let's give this a shot. I ain't got nothing else. I'm from a small West Texas town, about 80 or so miles south of Todd. So Trucker Todd. So so I,
shout out Trucker Todd.
Yeah. So put everything in storage, got rid of just about everything, made our bills as small as possible, really, for me at the time, which was kind of hard to do because the oil field provided a really good life, and I had a lot of debt tied up. Of course, I had the income to support that, but when it all went down, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Yes, I go and stay with my in-laws when I go on home time.
That was great.
So
Like I do.
that's a totally different discussion than someone, like when I started trucking, I had a mortgage, 5 kids
Yeah.
at home, all that stuff. That's a much different calculus. And so you have more
All right,
time
so-
to meet these goals than I did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So, I played in the oil fields. Granted, you could have came and played with me in North Dakota and freeze your ass off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, if you, I only gotta say one thing, and you'll probably know. Williston. Yeah.
Hey, yes. I drove by
Yeah.
Williston quite a bit. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So, and the reason why I'm referencing this is all right. You played in the oil field. Sorry for the background noise.
There they are.
Fur babies.
Yep, exactly. You made seriously good income playing in the oil fields. I don't know exactly in the oil fields, but money was being thrown left and right. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
You had a big. So you've had the luxury of having an increased income. And I'm going to also say that you probably also had the increased living expenses associated with that income, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So my point is, did you learn your lesson?
Yeah, pretty hard too. So yeah.
It's a hard reality to make adjustments accordingly. So with your 1 to 3, 5, and 10-year goal, what is your plan to make sure that you don't repeat the habit?
So are you talking about like with the increased income, doing the increased lifestyle expenditure, that kind of thing?
Yep.
And just came with a toppling effect.
Right. Yeah. So I was pretty traumatized by that whole experience. So what I did was, now that I work with Swift and things are pretty stable, I've opened up 3 accounts, which I had never did before. I've only ever had the one checking account, which I think is probably pretty average for just about everybody. So now I've got 3 accounts. I've got more money in my savings account now than I've ever had before in my entire life, even when I was in the oil field, which, there was a lot of money in it. So, yeah. So this is, I guess you could say, in the 3 years that I've been with Swift, yeah, there's been some definite modifications of behavior. So, yeah.
Because I will say that's probably the number one thing that we all make these mistakes with that increased income. We spend a lot more money and we keep adjusting. And, what do we have to show for it? Because I guarantee you those 2 gentlemen down there, they've made over $1 million at, and we all have sat here and gone, where'd all that money go? Where is it now? What do I have to show for it? Yeah, are you
that's
looking
actually
underneath your
pretty
seat there?
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, a lot of people know I used to work for the phone company in sales and customer service. Let me tell you, that's a pretty lucrative job right there, working for a utility. And it took me, from the time I lost that job, it took me almost a decade to get out of all that debt. I mean, it was, that's one of the reasons why I always tell you guys that my wife is my CFO. I don't do stuff without her permission anymore because I will spend money. That's how we do it.
Goodness.
It's one of those things. I grew up in an upper middle class family. My wife grew up in a lower class family, if you will. So her idea of money is completely different than mine. And so I can't trust myself because I want to live like my parents raised me. And she's like, "What are you doing?" So she's my sounding board. She's the one that keeps me from from doing what I did before. Because before, when I was making all that money, she really couldn't say anything because I was bringing home these checks, right? And then I spent it all and had nothing to show for it. So now I listen to
Yep.
my wife. That's how I did it.
Right.
And I would have to say, Kathy, yes, that's all of us, including myself. We've all been there. We've all made those mistakes. It's a matter of learning from those mistakes and improving from there, and finding a way to trick ourselves to our habits, to protect ourselves and our business, and our families. That's, there's so I like that one. So many things to think about. We forget that we are not Superman. Something will eventually happen. And how do we protect those that we love, that we leave behind? And that goes for the day-to-day aspects. Materialistic things are materialistic. They come and go. And how much of that you look around you is junk. But that brings you back to another aspect. There is always going to be a need for drivers. We all have crap. And everybody loves crap and keeps collecting crap. Granted, there are things that we do need, but how many times from the point that something is actually manufactured, times is the driver actually touching that piece of product before it actually gets delivered to the stores and into the end use. So that's one nice thing of transportation. There are lulls in the industry. It goes up and down. People do spend less during certain times, but we also know where the consistency of growth is. So keep that in mind, especially with you. You're still young in the industry. There's nothing wrong with that. You have plenty of experience to build with, and you've done really well, and you've assessed different things in your businesses. So having 3 accounts, making sure that you're saving and continuing to grow from there. Now, out of this long-windedness, we only went through your 1 year. So what's your 3-year?
My 3-year.
Get the book.
Pay off the truck and, save up, or rather, I guess I should say, buy out the truck. If that means I have to get it financed, because I know, one of Jeff's biggest thing is, you don't really make the money until you have a paid off truck, which is, pretty true as far as I've come to learn. So I definitely want to try to get the truck paid off and get everything squared away at 3 years.
Okay, that's a very good goal. But I'll tell you, contractually, you cannot pay off the vehicle until you are at the conclusion of your contract. Now, here's something else to think about. That
On an MRP.
value within the contract is. Are you seeing it different?
You can pay off a new lease.
The new lease. If you can show up with $200 grand cash that the day after you sign that lease, they'll sell it to you.
Yeah, but you have to pay. You have to pay the entire.
I'll look it up.
Here we go.
Yeah, because the verbiage in the contract actually says it's at the conclusion of the term. I know that they have allowed it in the past, but I believe it is stopped. And I can't remember.
Is there anything in the contract that says unless otherwise agreed upon in writing, like some of the other stuff?
No.
There may be language in that such.
Okay.
I'll come
and
back
Rick,
to
you
it.
better
You
not go to the
keep doing.
casino.
I haven't had to deal with IEL in 2 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, so double check the contract on that. I do believe it does state, which I was planning on working with the two of you to dissect the contract for what you guys were talking about. Was gonna see what you guys needed, but if you want to do that, and now let's say a rough estimate. I don't want to give you an estimate and give you false expectations on the number. So with an MRP, like I said, about 90,000, and that's for an 18.
Is it that much? I thought that was the new truck ones. I thought that the MRPs were between 30 and 40.
With the new investments, I've seen them around 80,000. But that's not the standard though, because I used to see them around 40,000, 18,000, depending on the value of the vehicle.
Mhm.
So it fluctuates. It all depends on the mileage on the vehicle itself, not including the age. So,
Okay.
that's really a hard number to set. But let's go ahead and just say 90,000.
That changes my
1,000.
calculation. And those are typically a 36-month lease, right?
At 20 to 21. I hate to say it, but I'm just going off of guessing since I'm not an Uber. I help them, but actually, you know what? Here we go. Then I can check up on my last contract. Hold on. Give me a second. An 18. I can tell you what an 18 is. Hold on. At the conclusion.
Charlie's grabbing his new truck contract right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's one of the
Okay. So
segments
an
we want to start
18
doing too.
on a new contract that I just signed to give you
Uh-oh.
an idea. You can't say that this is set in stone. A recruiter. So at the term of this, no, that's
Uh-oh.
19. Oh. My computer much. There's the IEL.
Okay. Okay, Sue, you're cutting in and out a little bit. So on Sean Holloway's got a 21 non-MRP, and he's at $625 a week. Says his fixed costs are $1044 on a 36-month lease, and a large balloon. He put large in caps, so I'm assuming that means pretty big. Sean, do you know what your buyout is at the end, off the top of your head? We'll see if he gets back. Okay, so Sue says we were having technical difficulties with her sound there. Isaac, do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So we're still live. So Sue says on the 2019 that she's looking at, it's $87,000 is the buyout at the end. Sue, nod if you can hear me. She's not nodding. Okay, there she is. Sue, is that MRP or non-MRP? Not MRP. Okay.
Yeah, that's a standard lease.
Charlie, we have no sound from Sue.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It
It's on
started
her
off
end.
with her doing the funky chicken like I was a couple of weeks ago.
That was awesome.
So
I was watching.
So that's on a non-MRP. Alan Becker says his had a $90,000 buyout on it. He's got a. Do you remember what your truck he's got? It's a Kenworth, right?
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I'm flipping through my new contract for stuff.
So
There's a great
Dennis
video
Lewis,
right here.
Dennis Lewis has a 13K buyout. So I'm going to say something about that, Isaac. That was before this whole inflation of truck prices.
Yep.
Yeah.
The MRPs used to be between 10 and 15,000, depending on the mileage when you picked it up. And so used trucks right now, like when I bought my house last year, you've probably heard me talk about it. When I bought my house last year, I had to do the whole balance sheet thing because I'm a business owner in order to get the loan written.
Mhm.
And so I went and had my truck assessed. I've got a 2016 Freightliner, Cascadia. You know, it's getting old. It's got 800,000 miles on it, and it assessed at $72,000 at Aero Truck Sales. That's what they said they could get for my truck. That's crazy. Like a year and a half ago, this truck would have been maybe 40. So that's what's going on. The market's
Can you
just
hear me
crazy.
now?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Sue, how you doing? And she froze.
Perfect.
So I think I can't remember if it was you. We talked to a lot of people, Isaac, so forgive me, but I don't know if it was you I was talking to. The assessed value of the truck is not something that is that important to me, and I'll explain why. Because my truck is the tool that I use to run my business with. It costs kind of what it costs. The question is, can I afford to run that truck at a profit? That's the question. So it's like mechanics buy their tools for $50 a week for 200 years. Why do they do that? Because they make more than what they spent on the tool. And so if you look at the truck as a tool, that's the calculus I look at is this truck costs me this much a week to run. What can I make beyond that? And am I comfortable with that? So sometimes the numbers we talk about look scary, but one of the things to keep in mind, just a little bit of a silver lining for you. Charlie and I both have made it over a decade in the business with these payments and making this money. It's just a matter of figuring it out. And that initial question that we ask, why do you want to be an owner operator? That's the key. If you can keep that goal in mind, that reason to be in business. Now, for me, famously, my reason for being in business is because I just plain like business. If I did not own a truck, I would have a game store somewhere. I would still be in business. It just wouldn't be in the trucking industry. So that's the thing. Why? That why has to be in your mind all the time. For those weeks or months, there was one time, the worst for me ever. So I got sued over a medical bill years ago, which I didn't think they did that because I was an idiot, So I got sued. I had a garnishment against me. So I literally did not make any money at all for 2.5 months while that garnishment was being paid. I survived that. Barely, but I survived it. Why? Because I kept that goal in mind. And those are the times that this initial question will save you. When times get that tough, which generally speaking, that's an outlier scenario. People don't generally get sued that bad and then end up having to pay a settlement that big, and so they don't make any money. That just doesn't happen all that often. That's like the worst case scenario. But there are weeks when the truck breaks down. So then you've got to have a hotel because you can't sleep in the truck when it's at the dealership. You're not going to be running freight because trucks broke down. Maybe you're in an area that they can't even get a rental to you. So that's not even an option. And you're just not going to make money for about 2 weeks because you got to pay that bill. And that's when these goals come into place. Like, nope.
I do have
Oh, there she is. Hey.
Hey, So now, those that are in an area, those that are in an area that a rental is not viable, here's out of the box thinking, and that's one of the things of the business act that we all have to think about. So let's say that you're in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. Where are you going to get a rental at? Not Nebraska. So why don't you get a rental car and go to where a rental vehicle is available for you to keep making money? You got to think about those factors versus just sitting there and waiting on days or weeks where you still have the viability to go out there and go make money. And that's what I challenge everybody to do, is you got to look beyond what you see in front of you. And we all do it. I couldn't tell you. I'm amazed my nose is not broken. Any luck on that, Charlie? On finding it? I see you
I'm
digging.
flipping. I lack focus. I'm trying.
Well, this might be so Sue. Just so you know, there was an idea we had for a segment, kind of like Charlie's fuel surcharge thing, where I would go over a section
Right.
of the contract every week. Just a short section,
That's
a little at
awesome.
a time. So this might be one of those things we do that with that too. Of course, it
Yeah,
requires
I mean,
us
I
to
think
actually
it's
like
very
do
important.
something.
And oh goodness, you guys work very hard on what you guys do every day. But I think as an OOC and somebody that has been an owner, and I've learned a lot of my own mistakes. I've tripped and fallen. But one of the biggest things that is very, very frustrating to me is that how many people don't read their contract. Don't even just ask me the simplest question is, what is my mileage pay? That's the first thing I would know.
I love when I hear that question.
What is my
I'm not
schedule
even sure
C?
how much
What is
I'm
my
getting
schedule
paid.
D? And that's a scary thought. Why would you sign for a vehicle? It's on the IEL part of your contract. And that should be, I'm not going to sign for $200,000 vehicle without knowing how much I'm getting paid to be able to run this vehicle. One of the biggest things is, I will be honest with all of you guys, I have not leased through Swift. I purchased out. So, and it is very difficult to get outside financing. There's several companies out there that can support you. There's a lot of viability and reasons for these leases. It is an easy access and a convenience for everyone to be able to process their business. And Jeffrey is a numbers person. And he probably crunched the numbers on both ways. And I cannot say that one is better than the other. There are pros and cons to both aspects of it, especially on a tax factor. So to give you a scary situation, so I had, get this, my first truck I bought was a T2000. Remember those ugly things?
I loved my T2000 though.
Yep. It ran great. Except for I was all the way in California. Actually, no, I was in Reno. When I realized that the cab of my truck was actually separating from the frame.
Oh.
Can you imagine how scary of a thought that is? And it was obviously not safe to run the vehicle. And the dealership that I bought it from was, guess what, here in Orlando. So with franchises and things like that are around, Kenworth would not warranty it because it was a warranty through the franchise itself.
Oh.
So yeah, so I had to get the vehicle back to Orlando, and I was crossing my toes, my fingers on making it back to Orlando. And of course, I didn't carry
just use bungee straps and duct tape, Sue. That's all you need.
Oh, it was scary. I was pulling out the measuring tape going, did that sink more?
So Sean, I wanted to address this real quick in a little more detail. So in your IEL contract, not your ICOA, but your IEL contract, you should be able to find pretty easily about a 5-page part of the document. I think it's that long, where it's got your payments, each date of each payment,
Schedule A.
through Schedule A, and at the end of that document, what you see at the end for what's left, that's your buyout. That last line.
You guys ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Section 18, and this is what it says word for word. Purchase of the equipment. If lessee is not in default, lessee may purchase the equipment leased on the individual leasing record at the expiration of the lease term for the stipulated loss value at that time, as shown in Schedule A. In addition, lessee may request termination of the lease at any time during the lease term, and if lessor, in its sole discretion, should grant such request, such termination shall become effective only on payment of the stipulated loss value at the time, as shown on Schedule A, plus all accrued and unpaid overall lease payments owing for the equipment for all periods commencing prior to such termination. On the exercise of the foregoing lease option to purchase, lessor shall execute and deliver to the lessee all documents necessary and proper to effect transfer of ownership of the equipment to lessee, free and clear of all encumbrances, security interests, and liens. So there is that line that gives them the option to say no. But the wording to me, and I would be willing to think that they would fall through with this, that as long as you are current at the time you make that request and can pay that truck off, they will absolutely accept it. That's what I believe.
I didn't have a headache.
I would
with
question
you,
that.
just from
And
your
the
listening.
key word, and so in the key word of that is term. I would say in that aspect, term is the key aspect where they're going to hold to that attribute. The other thing is that if you're buying out, whether it's at the term of the lease or the amount of buyable, has anybody talked about sales tax?
Oh, sales tax sucks.
That's not in the, yeah. And that's something else that everyone needs to keep in mind when you do actually come to the end of the term and you actually do want to purchase this vehicle. You need to be prepared for that sales tax as well. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, the three of us have owned our vehicles, and it's worth that, is being free and clear.
Absolutely.
Of not having to worry about these payments. And but factor that into your numbers, depending on what Texas taxes on the vehicle itself. And then, of course, then you have registration and all those lovely things that you have to factor in as well. But I don't think that, Isaac, we ever actually got to what your 3 and 5 year plan is, besides wanting to buy off the vehicle.
So, just, I don't think I actually wrote. Hold on. So, no, just, simple goals. Pay off the truck, 5 years, just maintain it and, just keep trying to make money. Now, 10 years is where it gets kind of interesting. My 10-year goal is to finance a super sleeper. Well, not really finance, like have enough money saved up where I've only got to finance like half of it, and then find a way to successfully compete against autonomous trucks. That's my 10-year goal.
I like it.
So you want to compete against? You want to compete against me and Charlie, who have the goal in the next 10 years of being the first contractors to lease an autonomous truck on a Swift, huh?
Right?
Not. I'm not. I'm not really like too worried about it because there's. Let's not get into that. But I'm not. There'll be guys who find a way to make it work. Somebody's going to find a way to make it work. So as long as I can make it work, that's I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
86,314 is my buyout. Sorry.
86. Okay,
314. Yep.
314. Okay, so 86, 314. So would you say the 3-year commitment or 5-year commitment that changes your game plan on being able to pay off the vehicle. What is your commitment on that?
It's going to be, well, I mean, like you said, since I don't even have the option to do the buyout until the end of the lease, I'm, going to be handicapped by whatever that goal will be dependent on the length
term.
of the lease. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it'd be anywhere from 3 to 4 years is what I would guess on that. So let me just go ahead and go off of Charlie's numbers and do a 60-year. So I'm sorry, 60 months. 60 months calculation. Don't mind me. So that's 14. Let's go ahead and round that up. $14.40 per month that you have to put aside to be able to pay off that vehicle free and clear, and it be yours. But once again, that doesn't include sales tax.
Right.
So, if you go buy 6.5, sorry, I don't know what the latest sales tax is. I believe it's around 6.5 or 7. So just going off of 6.5, that's another $13,279 that you have to add on to that. So that even changes your numbers even more. So that brings your total up to $99,593. And then go ahead and that is $1,660 per month that you have to put out just for that alone. So you want to factor that into your goal planning. You want to break down where you are measurable on your goals. It's very key to do that because you need to assess how you're doing. And especially those down points when you think all has failed, you can go back and go, wait, I've done this in my goals. I've achieved this. One of the biggest things that I used to do is like your mission statement. I would have little stickies or even, I drove in the times where you had to write down directions, turn left here, go so miles here on this interstate, get off on this exit. I do that on my windshield or I do it on a notepad. But also I kept my goals in front of my windshield. So I had to look at it every day to make sure I stayed focused on what I was trying to achieve, because there are going to be times where you're just so frustrated in what's going to keep you,
For real.
besides the wife keeping you sane.
Yeah.
But the measurable part is, are you achieving that $1,660 per month? Are you verifying that you are actually putting that aside? Okay. Do you need to go ahead and make an adjustment to your goal and make it more realistic to your situation? Maybe you can't do 16 a month, maybe 1,000 until you get to a better state for your business, until you can make adjustment. You have 3 accounts. How are you diverting it? Are you one of those that puts it all in one account and then transfers money to the account separately? Or are you similar to like myself in the sense of I have automatic transfers, so I don't even see it. It's gone.
No,
I'd
I don't.
rather play that.
I do it all myself because I like the challenge, I guess you could say, or I think that's a real easy way to lose focus or lose discipline. Like, it takes will to move money from, I can use it, to I can't use this. You know what I mean? It takes willpower. So
it does take willpower. Yeah. Absolutely. That wouldn't work for me.
See,
I need to trick myself.
I do it the way Isaac does it, simply because I'm a control freak. Every Monday I do my books and I do my transfers and this, that, and I get that endorphin high from moving the money. So
yeah.
I'm with you, Sue. I'm the same way. Take it out of my check before I see it, and then I'm okay. Because if I see it, even to this day, I'm like, maybe I don't want to put it in this week.
One of the things that we haven't really talked about is the maintenance account either.
Right.
And we have it on
Correct.
good authority. Good authority being Bruce Mallison, who was on the show a few weeks ago. 10 cents a mile if you start with 10 cents a mile when a truck is brand new and never touch it for anything but maintenance, you should be able to afford everything, including the end frame, at about 1 million miles.
Yeah, I'm doing 13. I'm doing 13 to my maintenance is what was my plan, because on, I forget what episode it was, you suggested 12, and I want to do a penny a mile to cover the max mileage catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
the 2 weeks of truck payments, or sorry, what did I say? The 6 weeks, yeah, the 4 weeks of downtime truck payment and the 2 weeks of vacation truck payment.
Yep. Good.
Now, keep in mind that deals like the payment freeze change on a frequent basis. So, the 6 weeks may not be available anymore. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not a recruiter, so I can't quote on what that time frame is, but it is consistently changing. So make sure that you speak with Michelle on that and what is available when you get closer to that
Right.
time frame.
And that's one of the things,
now-
Isaac, that I did when I had the lease payments and all that stuff was I take 2 vacations a year, 2 weeks each, one for 4th of July and one for Christmas every year. And those 2 weeks of truck payments that I had came out of my maintenance account. I just made sure I always had a couple of weeks in there, no matter what, so that I didn't fall behind on those truck payments. So that's because a lot of guys, they'll do that and then they'll be like, oh, I'm 2 weeks behind, I can't make any money. Well, why didn't you prepare for your vacation?
Right.
That's on us. So I think that's a good plan.
And that's where it is. And you're doing a great job on your assessment for someone that has not actually done it yet. You're coming up with statements and plans and outliers that one that may have before had to step back and now reassessing it. And I congratulate you, because I mean, it's great. It is great to see a brand new company person, or not, sorry, someone that's wanting to make that being an owner operator. Keep that available. Honestly, I would highly suggest that you get into more of an in-depth conversation with Michelle and see some of the comments pertaining to ATBS. Believe in the value of the assessment. It gives you a rough estimate of a P&L for a lot of those are generalized, but it can be more centralized towards, it does factor in the numbers of the truck payment, and it gives you, especially a lot of company people that are wanting to make this adjustment, a glimpse of what a P&L should look like. Is it 100? Absolutely not. Estimate, but it gives you a running number. One of the things that I do suggest that you do when you have that conversation is make sure that you truly know what your monthly expenses are. And Isaac, you have taken every aspect of your business, what your business goals into consideration. I mean, sitting there watching you with your notepad, that's awesome, by the way.
30
is
25,596 a year.
Okay. So now, does that include food? I'm going to take it to a different level.
Yep.
I'm going to challenge you and your wife
and boots
to take in consideration of the toiletries and food.
And booze?
Very nice.
No, I said no, and no, no. I said and boots.
So one of the things I'll say about that ATBS evaluation that people don't realize, they're going to tell you how many miles you need to run to break even. And what they mean, this is important. What they mean by break even is everything. So for me, it was my house payment, gas for my wife's car, clothes for the kids, everything. Their break even that they gave me was how many miles I needed to run to pay all, not just the truck and business payments, but my salary to make sure that my family could live on that. So a lot of people, they get discouraged because ATBS will tell them, well, you need $2,500, 2,500 miles a week just to break even. Well, you have to understand what they mean by break even. that is paying you enough to live.
Right.
Yeah.
That's including your payroll. So a lot
Right.
of people get wigged out by that.
And that's where I challenge you to keep in mind of your actual expenses, your waste away money, your eating out, your groceries. And the more accurate that you have of that, the more that you can plan accordingly and see what you need to do to take care of your house, including your business. And no, you don't eat grass, Alan.
Is that even legal there,
So,
Alan?
you know, every like I said, everyone has a difference of opinion. You know, is to utilize that company or not. But it does provide value in another aspect for you to look at. And that's important for all of us, is to evaluate someone else's opinion. And it may work for you, it may not, but it gives you another train of thought behind where you can go here. But I also told that you had plenty of questions, so I've done a lot of talking. What else?
Now's your chance, Isaac.
Bring
Now's
it.
your chance.
Come on, bring it.
Well, I mean, you can't just put me in the spotlight like that.
Yes,
let's
we
see.
can, sir.
Let's see.
Watch this. Watch this. This is gonna. Bam.
Oh
What's up?
gosh. Yeah.
Oh, man, look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Watch this, Charlie. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I see how he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, there's a lot of I don't know what you would call that, you know, anxiety. I don't really want to say fear. I'm not scared, but I do, you know, when it comes to making a really important decision like this, you know, I definitely want to get as much information as I possibly can, which is, you know, and especially from current owner operators, because I mean, that's like super important to me to be, you know, to think about things that that I, you know, wouldn't that, you know, I wouldn't even know to think of otherwise. You know, these guys, you know, guys that have been doing it for years and years, and they've been through, you know, crazy stuff. So, but as far as questions, I mean, there's,
Right.
I think we covered just about all of it, really. I don't think I probably should have wrote down some questions now that I think about it.
Sue's pretty thorough though,
Yeah.
and that look, that's why we like what Sue does. I mean, seriously, and this isn't look, you know, Sue can just smack me in the head when I say stupid things because it's totally okay. Like Sue's like in that family range now, you know, and I expect that from her. And I don't say this to blow smoke up anybody's butt, but like Sue is crazy thorough, like crazy thorough. And this is one of the reasons that, you know, we want to do more of these types of shows with people, and whether we do the shows or not, you know, we tell people, look, you know, you should absolutely talk to Sue. You should absolutely talk with Michelle. You know, these are the people that we trust. And the reason we trust them is because they're so damn good at their jobs. And they're not going to BS you. They're going to tell you what they believe to be real. And they base that on, you know, years of decades of experience. You know, because they were successful in and they are successful in what they do, right? So, you know, and that's it. Just is. It's what we love about, you know, Sue and Michelle and the people that we work with. They are absolute professionals when it comes down to it. So when you're like, yeah, I got a bunch of questions, and I'm like, haha, watch, I bet most of them get answered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, but did I actually asked you a question last week, Isaac? And it was something you were supposed to do. Did you ever ask your current driver leader, or whatever the company version of that is now? Did you ever find out if they handle contractors, if they have one of those terminals where they're allowed to have you as a contractor versus a company driver?
No, I didn't. I completely forgot.
Okay, fair enough. That's honest. Because but if you fall into one of those terminals that doesn't allow the regular company driver driver leaders to handle you as a contractor, then maybe you think about making a jump to someone like Sue, or maybe you build a relationship with someone in your terminal. I mean, it's purely up to you. The beauty of what we do is your OOC doesn't have to be where you live, because mine is in Oregon and I live in Florida, and I can't get any farther away physically from her, but we still talk when we need to talk and handle business.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, probably like
The biggest thing is
I don't know, a year and a half ago. What?
Go ahead, Sue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that. I guess like a year and a half ago, my driver leader told me that she does handle. If I did want to ever lease a truck, that she would be able to stay my driver leader. So I don't know. Yeah, so I don't. Not 100%. I guess I'll have to ask her again. It's been a year and a half. Maybe there's been a policy change or something. I'm not sure.
You will also, and I will recommend this, that you will need to sit down. If that individual is going to remain your OOC at that point, you need to sit down and have a conversation, much like you're having with Sue now, a little more focused on your goals and that sort of thing. Again, because you need to interview that person. This needs to be an interview from them and an interview from you, right? You both need to know that you're going to be able to work towards those goals that both of you have, because you have expectations, as do they. And as you become a contractor, those expectations and things from their part changes on what they expect from you, because it's a whole different ballgame at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And the manner in which you're addressed and concerns are brought up to you are also changed.
Right.
Bottom line, once you become a contractor, you are a customer, and we're your customer. It goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship is very key. A lot of my owners, I hope, would say that I take ownership of all the owners out of Ocala. We have, even though we have a total of 3 OOCs, I talk to as many of the owners as I can, and I try to deal with them as much as I can, because I want to make sure that they all feel welcome and they also feel a part of the team. But the thing is the key aspect is that relationship, whether they are helping you develop your own skills and how you handle your business, or some of those that are listening that I know is a part of my team. Do they have a few minutes to spend as a therapist, just being an ear? Sometimes it's important.
Don't forget
you need
to call
someone to reach
back
out to
and
just
say,
a
"I'm
bit.
sorry, I was a jerk on the phone, Dennis Lewis." My bad, Dennis.
Yep.
We all have moments. We all have moments. And thank you, Dennis, for that positive praise. And same thing with you, Alan. Are we perfect? No. None of us are perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. And my guys will also tell you, too, that I'm not always easy to get a hold of. So take that in mind in a factor of your business dealings with whoever your direct contact is what's your best mode of contact with them? How are you? How is your relationship with them? Because we're partners in our own way. And do they understand the importance of the relationship that you have with your wife that's on board on your truck and where your goals are? They need to understand those factors, as well as you need to understand their own growth and factors and how they want to succeed and support in the team as well. So make sure you have a good, solid relationship with them. Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
what it was. Yours, okay? That we had this weird humming going on. So yeah, definitely set it off your desk because it's too close to the microphone.
Sorry.
It's all right. Nope, it's even worse. Put it back where it was. It's fine.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
That's what we get for listening to Charlie.
It's a weird thing, anyhow. But yeah. So like they said, I mean that relationship is key here. Oh, yeah, it got worse, Sue.
got worse.
Is it you, Charlie?
Further.
No, mine's definitely not there. Yeah, it's Sue's. I can see it in her
Can't be mine anymore.
Oh. That's crazy.
No, it's not
It's Jeff.
me. It's way in the other room.
Baffling. Wait, watch this. Watch. I'm gonna do a test. Ready? It's Sue. It's Sue.
Maybe it's her electric personality.
It's
That's
always
what it
my
is.
fault. It's all right.
It's fine. No, it's fine now. It's actually gone right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So
We're
on
good.
the
We're
on
good.
the on the
It
subject
was
of
my cell phone.
OOCs,
Sorry.
for everybody out there, your relationship with that individual is key to your business.
Absolutely.
And you need to treat it as such. If you're not comfortable with the person that's responsible for helping you run your business, you need to evaluate that. I mean, Charlie and I work with a lady. I've been working with Dana for 15 years, and boy, there are people that will tell you if they had to have her as a driver leader, they would quit Swift tomorrow. And Charlie and I don't understand that because we're like, she's great.
Oh, wait. That was exactly my stance when I was on my mentor's truck and she was his driver leader. I said, there's no way in hell I'll work for that lady. And then I walked in. I walked in. We had a conversation when I was released to solo, and I laid out what my expectations were of her, and asked her what her expectations were of me, and it was because she micromanaged the hell out of that guy, and apparently he needed it because that's how she got him to perform. With me, it was completely different, and then we were gold. The wonderful thing. Oh, look at that!
There it is.
Yay! Hi, doggy. No, don't put me on camera. I don't like it. But yeah. So with that, I mean, and I've been with her since day one.
Mhm.
So it's a weird
And,
deal.
Sometimes it's just not
I mean, and personalities mesh.
exactly. Sometimes it's not them, it's not you per se. It's personalities clash, right? And you got to take that into account and do what's best for both your business and honestly for that person too, because they probably don't enjoy working with people they don't get along with either. So
And the other thing is that you got to be able to entrust in that person. Said you're our customer, we're your customer. As much as we have to entrust in you, we're taking care of the end customer every day, and that you're being safe. You got to entrust that we're covering behind you and ensuring your finances, looking for errors or situations that may come up, doing some research for you to kind of support you. And those are the factors that come into everyday business. Well, I mean, one of the smartest things I ever heard is, and this is where I struggled throughout my life, is I am a control freak in many ways where I want to, I see that. I want to evaluate, I want to look at everything, and I want to look at my numbers. But the smartest thing I have always heard is surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, that you can learn. Engulf yourself with that knowledge. Ask them questions. What do they specialize in? And they get to your knowledge as well. I mean, don't take advantage of that person per se, but build a friendship with those individuals and get to know them for who they are. But take advantage of the knowledge that they give you.
yeah, I mean, and that goes from outside their trucking business too. I mean, I have a friend that's got a master's degree in business. He runs a entire division of a software company. And there's times when I just sit down and have lunch with him and pick his brain. And he knows I do this. He's cool with it. Makes me feel smart, whatever. But, if I have something I'm thinking about doing in the truck, sometimes I'll ask him, what do you think about this? Let's use your education.
Right.
Am I an idiot? Am I onto something here? And then, on the flip side, he asks me what to do with his cabinets sometimes. So,
Right.
that's the trade-off.
Give and take. I dig it.
it's good to have friends outside of your business too that you can say, "Hey, I'm doing this. What do you think?" You have some a good mind for numbers, you know. Even like Charlie, we had a question about the fuel surcharge chart. So my son is an actual bona fide mathematician. So we had him take a look at it. Why? Because he's a mathematician. We were trying to figure out if there was some sort of reason behind the chart there, which we have an answer, but we're not going to make that public. If you guys want to know, PM us. Anyway, so just having people that say, "Hey, that guy's got a skill that I don't have,"
Right.
and chances are you have a skill that they don't have, and you can meet in the middle there and help each other out, and it's great.
Right. I agree. I
That's
definitely
why
agree.
Jeff and I go together like peas and carrots.
That's why we both hang out with Rosie.
So stir fry.
So, James Vaughn, just so you know, that is something that we want to work on sometime over the next future, man. We're trying. It's tough to get all these things made the way that we would like them. We don't want to just put out a crap piece and here's the contract, guys, and blam, and you're like, what the hell did they even just say? We want to be able to break it down line by line and hit those real key points and be able to go over that contract thorough. So keep your eyes open for that. Sometime in the future, we will get to that. That is something that we are working on. Sorry, but yeah.
And I would. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make note to anybody and any that wants to pursue a contract, and especially with you, Isaac. Do not hesitate to ask for a printed copy of the contract.
Right.
Sit down and read it. Understand what you're signing. I mean, because you are signing for a very expensive piece of equipment. It's not something that you can just put aside and, oh, somebody will take care of it for you. That's not the deal. This business is business.
Yeah.
Read what you're signing for and know where your lines are, and maybe challenge some of those lines where there could be some negotiation aspects that you can have them reassess for you that would work better for your
Right.
business. But please understand what you're signing. It doesn't matter. I know that people have said that they feel pressured, but bottom line, you ask for a printed copy, they'll give you a printed copy. They will stop what they're doing to give you that copy and give you the time, whether it takes all day. I can't tell you how many times I've read through that contract, and I know these two gentlemen have read through it several times, and you still pick up new aspects of that contract where you didn't catch it before. But take the time to read what it says, and don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, I always tell people that on the 3 trucks that I've leased from IEL, each time took me the whole day to sign.
Yep.
On this truck that I have now, they were actually wanting to go home, and I was still in that little special room they put you in to read the contract to sign it. And I was like, "Hey, man, do you want me to come back tomorrow? Because I'm not signing until I'm done."
Right. Look, ask for that contract 30 days out.
Yeah.
And take it to a lawyer if that's what you need to do. They will absolutely, and Michelle will absolutely send it to you. And we've had to get several recruiters retrained on part of that policy, and they said, "Oh, no, we'll show you the contract after you get your drug screen done." And we're like, "No." When people told us that, we reached out to the proper avenues within the company and got those folks retrained, because that was a problem. And there was a few people that kind of just snowballed into signing the day that they first saw the contract, and that's scary to me.
And then after,
and it can be very intimidating.
Right.
Sorry.
and then after it's signed too, you have a copy of it. I think they're doing electronic copies now. I'm someone that I read legalese better on an actual sheet of paper than I do on a screen. So I print it out, and every once in a while I'll go through it. Every once in a while I go through it. A lot of times it's when somebody asks a question that I don't have the answer to, but I know it's somewhere in the contract, so that makes me go read it.
So yeah, Sue, you started to say something. I can't remember what the hell it was.
Enough of that. Yep.
I'm sorry.
That was a squirrel moment. Let's say that the contract can be intimidating, but don't allow it to intimidate you. Ask a question
Right.
on it. Don't.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, reach out to us, reach out to Sue.
What about you, Isaac? What else you got?
Just as far as questions, or
anything, man. This is your moment, brother. This is your time where you're on the spot. You are the guy. We are the answer people.
This is your 2 hours or so of fame, man.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It might be a pretty dull moment. No, I mean just.
Sue froze. That's great. Wait. This will be fun. Can I do it?
Oh, we need to.
Oh, she's back.
Oh,
Dang, I wanted to get her on the freeze.
Are you trying to freeze me?
Yes. No.
I have my finger on the print screen.
I saw it.
Any of you guys have comments about this? Feel free to throw them up. I apologize. I haven't been real attentive to the chat, but there's a lot of other stuff that we're writing down and that sort of thing. So if you guys have any comments or questions yourselves, if anyone's watching that is thinking of making this step into contractordom, that's fun. I'm sorry. I just like saying that. I don't know why. Anyhow, get those questions up. We're probably going to wrap this up here in the next 10 minutes. So get them in now so we can get to those. If not, you can always send Jeff or myself a message on Facebook. Jeffrey Morton, Charlie Mann. You can find us in Facebook really easy. You can even just where to go. Oh, I did not. Did I really not save it? I kind of
we do this weird thing where we use our real names on Facebook. It's weird,
right?
And so I'll just say I want to put something out real quick, Charlie. That came up earlier that we were in the heat of battle here. So those of you guys that are looking for opportunity, by the way, someone put way up there in the comments, Los Lunas is really hurting for people.
Oh,
Walmart there. So if you guys are in that area, man, reach out to them, see if they can use you for a week or two. You know, that surge, from what we've been hearing, they are kind of sticking to that 2-week rule. But hey, 2 weeks of surge, that's good money, man.
Right. No doubt. And hey, while we're at it and we're doing some housekeeping here, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a bunch of you in here. You can give us a little thumbs up if you think what we're doing is a good thing. Please hit that damn button because it helps with the analytics and it helps us reach more people. And by reaching more people, we can do bigger, better things. And maybe we bring more contractors into Swift from the outside. And with that said, watch this. I'm going to even switch right over into a different mode and go like this. And I'm going to say, hey, and if you do make that switch coming in from the outside, think about listing myself or Jeff, either one of us, as your referral, because what we're doing with that money is we're pouring that money into Contractors Corner so that we can do bigger, better things. So for Jeff, you can just put in MORTO1 or myself, MAHCH1. List us as your referral. One or the other, doesn't matter. He and I split that money. We dump it into Contractors Corner to pay for our back-end expenses like equipment and software and a platform that we're working on right now. And so, yeah, we're not trying to beg for it. It's not what we're here to do. But if you don't have already someone to list, hey, think about listing us. That would be awesome. Appreciate you. And now I can stop that mess. I hate that.
And another little bit of housekeeping, since Alan and a couple of guys way up there in the beginning were talking about Vegas real quick.
Oh, yeah.
The Vegas conference in April is looking like it's actually shaping up to be a real thing.
Yep.
Alan is working hard on doing. He's going to do a maintenance clinic for us and come with a little goodie bag for people that are going to participate in that.
Yep.
And we're hoping to get somebody to come and talk to us a little bit about business, to make it a real thing.
Sue Smith.
I do have a question.
Oh.
Yeah, when we were. I don't know why. Okay. So we were talking about on, I forget when it was that you were live streaming about Swift maybe not allowing me to put the super singles on the truck. So that got me thinking, so what about if they don't even want to let me put the super singles on the truck? What about an OPS?
I can tell you that Contractually speaking, as of right this moment, contractually speaking, you could not make that modification without their express written consent. You like that answer? I had to be careful how I said that.
How do they say it in Dumb and Dumber? So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm just saying that Jeff and I would love to have a conversation with them on the OPS system specifically. So we'll let you know more on that when we get to it.
Yeah, and actually, our conversation with Bruce gave
And
us
remember,
kind of
it's
an idea on how
negotiable.
we might be able to get that done. You know, it's
Go,
just
Sue.
a matter of doing it so the IEL is comfortable with it. So, looking at you, Sue.
Oh, sorry. All I was going to say is just the contract's negotiable. Shush. Yeah, having satellite internet stinks. Okay, but yeah. So those are discussions that you can have with Michelle, and if that's an aspect that you want added in, why not ask? Go ahead and get it in there, and have that that appendix to your contract.
Okay.
I can tell you that if you are successful, chances are they're still going to want you to do that 50,000 mile oil drain. You're probably not going to be able to extend the oil drain like I do,
Right.
on a truck that I own. But at least you'll be having a good oil sample program, and your oil is going to be cleaner while you're running it. That can't be a bad thing.
Hang
No.
on. I got to address this right here.
Oh, here we go.
James Vaughn. Sir, with all due respect, I can assure you that this statement is absolutely false. And I will back that up not only by saying that not only have I run super singles, I ran nothing but super singles on Chewy for well over 1.3 million miles. Yeah, I believe you're false. The rolling resistance on the tire was better than everything else on the market. So it was a lower expense there because better fuel mileage. I've never had a problem in anything except sugar sand as far as traction goes. I've run them all 48 states. Not only all 48, I ran that truck in Canada as well. So we can throw that up into the mix. Back when and I'm talking real Canada, the country of Canada, way up above the United States, not just above I-40. And so, yeah, I even ran super singles twice a week from Kent, Washington to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, or Sydney, Nebraska, running the Cabela's account. So I ran light, I ran heavy, and by light, I mean 5,000 pounds for the entire length of that. Winter, summer didn't matter. We ran if the road was open when we were establishing that contract, we were required to drive. If there was, if that meant you drove 5 miles an hour for your entire 10-hour shift, that's what you did. You did 5 miles an hour. Heavy loaded didn't matter. So I believe your statement is absolutely false, and I'm going to stick to that. You may have a differing opinion. That's fine. I say back it up with numbers.
Now, one of the things that Charlie and I have discussed up until even like a week ago, I think, Charlie, was the viability of putting super singles on my truck.
Right.
And it seems that with the new tires, it seemed that it was not as cost effective for me to do it.
Right.
Do the conversion because of the cost of the rims and then the tires and all that stuff. So the time we do it is when you get your truck and make it part of the deal. And then you can save that money on the fuel mileage. But doing the conversion, it seems right now, from what Charlie and I have been discussing, it's kind of iffy.
So, James, to address that part of it, I would say you're wrong again. There's no difference, man, other than I blow a tire out, I'm going to have to replace it. I'm going to wait on the side of the road like any other normal driver should be doing because it's illegal to operate on a blown tire, whether it's a single or a dual. Yeah, on a single, if you operated on it, you would damage the rim, and that would cost you much more money. But if you blow a tire, which I have never had a catastrophic tire failure on a wide single in 1.3 million miles. And the reason is I take care of my tires. I stab them every day, check the tread depth. I check the pressures. I check the tread depths. Come on.
The first time that Charlie and I met face to face, I almost had to call the cops on him because he was molesting my tires so bad.
Tire molester. That's me. Uncle Chester's a tire molester. I'm going to touch your tires. If we ever meet face to face and your truck is there, you can bank on it. I will walk up and I will start fondling your tires. Side to side, in and out. I'll feel around them like this. You guys just don't understand. I'm just saying. All right. I apologize. We're done.
So Taylor, as far as what you should be doing before you consider becoming an owner operator, you can get with us. You can PM us, and we can feed you some numbers to use so that you can start tracking what you would have made as an owner operator versus what you're making as a company driver, so you can see what the numbers are. The main number that you're not going to be able to get without our help is the fuel surcharge each week, because that factors into our profits.
Right.
But there's some known things, like you're going to pay about $675 for the tractor each week. You're going to pay about another $150 to $200 for insurance, all that stuff. So there's some known stuff, but then there's that one number that you really need if you're going to track your numbers ahead of time, so you can get comfortable with how to run the business.
And
we can
across the bottom of the screen right now.
Yep. And you can we'll help you get logged in on fuel gauges, so you can start tracking actual fuel expenses on your company truck, which I can tell you, if you do everything that we tell you to, you're going to be getting better fuel mileage on your truck than a company truck gets. So but the numbers that we can help you learn ahead of time are going to be more by and large, and then we get specific with you when you have your truck and help you to bring that overhead down as you learn more once you're in the truck. So that I hope that answers your question a little bit anyway. The real answer is get with us and we can talk.
And you can find us on the Facebooks if you are active on the Facebook. The Facebook, I can't help it. Look, I got Jeff too. I know. You can go to the official Swift Drivers group, the run by the corporate folks. Jeff and I are both active there. You can also find us in Swift Drivers Employees and Family group on Facebook, which is a outside group. You can find us, just type in our names on Facebook and do a search for us. If you don't do the Facebook stuff, then shoot us a message or a comment on the video after it posts later, and we will be able to, we'll figure out a way to reach out to you and maybe
and I don't know what part of the country you run, but if you're going to be in Phoenix for Driver Appreciation Week in September, Charlie and I will be there. With a booth and everything. We will have a table set up and we'll be talking to people. And
so
having a good time.
Get down there.
And if you're closer to Ocala, I think Sue might be doing something, or somebody might be doing something over in that area too. You can talk to someone face to face.
Yeah, I'm trying to put something together.
So yeah, feel free to reach out to us, and if
so she had a
go for it.
I'm sorry. He had a question about JC Penney's. I can look up that information. I'm not 100% sure if owners can contract with that account, but I'll double check for you. I got your name down. I can hopefully find you pretty easily. So I'll look into that tomorrow. But I do highly suggest, and people have difference of opinion on this. If you are on dedicated and you have not run OTR and you want to be an owner, I recommend that you make that switch, whether it's regional or it is OTR. Dedicated accounts that are viable for contractors are far and few between. Brett is working extremely hard to make that more accessible to owners, but however, there's a difference in the contract rate. It is very important that you make that adjustment prior to you signing a contract. Don't go into a new environment without knowing what your options are, and let alone have a brand new payment and all this obligation on top of now you're having to drive across the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that on the dedicated stuff too, if you're not currently a contractor, you're going to want to talk to the account runner about it. You're going to want to find out, first of all, do they allow owner operators? Second of all, what is that contract? Because some of these contracts, so Charlie and I on OTR, we make a minimum of $1.15 a mile plus surcharge.
Any
Some
load
of
over
these,
801 miles.
yep, and some of these dedicated contracts are as low as 85 cents a mile plus surcharge.
Right.
So that's a
And
big
that's
spread there. And so like the guys I work with in Opelika, there's several owner operators there, but I tell you what, these guys, one of them has a freaking FLD, man.
Right.
He's still running an FLD at that account. And you know what he says? He's been there for 3 carriers. He started
Yep.
out with HVH years ago, and he's still there because he just loves running that Walmart account. And yeah, it doesn't pay as much as he knows that he could make, but he's home every night. He makes enough money. He owns his tractor. He doesn't have to worry about payments. So
Right.
he's just doing his thing, and he doesn't care. So you got to make sure that it works for you. The money's one thing, but he was also an older guy. He was in his 60s, and so he really enjoyed just being home every night and having weekends off and spending time with the grandkids. He just needed to make enough money to make ends meet. That's it. So, don't get hung up on, I need to make $100,000 a year. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. You need to evaluate that, right? So.
Yeah, and the reasons people get on those dedicated accounts, everybody has their own reason. I want to be home more often. I want to be home every night, and some of those places you can do. So it's just a matter of what it is you're after and that sort of thing. So get with the account runners, talk to other contractors who are currently on that contract, and reach out to them. But hey, guys, we're getting ready to wrap this. This is your last chance, last call. If anyone has any questions, Isaac, if you have any more questions, man, by all means, throw them up. And yeah, if anyone has questions, throw them out there. Let's get to them. We dig it. Yeah, like James Bond says, Los Lunas is 90 cents a mile plus fuel surcharge. I think the target account is at 96 cents a mile. The Corinne, Utah Walmart's like 85 or 86 cents a mile. I mean, they're all over the place. There are accounts where it's even better than the regular OTR rate. So, I mean, you just got to get with that account.
Yep. Yeah, and
right,
those rates are determined by the contract that Swift has with those customers. So, like I say, like Charlie says, we've heard of a couple of them that are actually better than what we get paid. So,
yeah, those ones hurt my feelings a little bit, but I don't want to work in those places because they are not great places for me. My microphone just pulled a hair out of my chin. That's weird.
Jerks are bad.
Rosie has a cramp. Oh, I missed it as she was stumbling away. Dang it. That would have been great. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I am.
You're broken.
That.
All right.
I guess Alan is putting together, I'm going to throw this up there. Alan is putting together a binder, how to basic maintenance, and have a nice goodie bag for all in attendance, plus a surprise giveaway. What?
Ooh.
That man is all into this thing. You guys just don't understand. That we are working on some stuff, and like I said, April 3rd through the 7th, we'll be in Las Vegas, 2023. We will have at least a half-day classroom session and probably and so with part of Alan's thing is he's doing a how to adjust your brake stuff. And so he's got a mock-up that he's talking about bringing so that we can do that in the classroom too and not be out in any kind of heat. So that'll be awesome.
Hey.
And then maybe find a spot to get out and climb around trucks. And we will be, Jeff and I, and a couple of, in fact, Alan's planning on being there as well. Driver Appreciation Week in Phoenix is where we'll be. And that is September 11th through
that week.
16th. Wow, that hurt my head. I got stuck there. Could you see it? It was like smoke building up.
Yeah, and if you guys want to be there and hang out with us for the whole week, by the way, and we were talking about this with Alan, there's a couple of dedicated accounts over there that would be more than happy to let you run a couple of loads for them. That way you at least make some money while you're there.
They always need some help.
Costco and Home Depot are the two I know off the top of my head that would just love to have people for, even if it's just for one load out and back. That way it pays for your week. All right,
guys. Last call. What the hell?
I don't know. Don't.
They have a timeout button. That just happened. Anyhow, so yeah. So hey guys, we're gonna wrap this thing. Oh my god, we've gone to a different level now. We now have trolls. Yes, trolls.
That's
Anyhow,
good for
guys,
us.
dude, is there anything you want to throw out there? Last comments, anything like that?
No, just thank you for all that you guys do. I mean, like I said earlier, we wouldn't have the things that we have in our homes, taking care of the kids or the people that we love without you guys sacrificing day. Just thank you, and keep it up.
Oh, Sue, you're awesome. We love the hell out of you. Thank you, Sue, for being here and doing what you do, because without you, it would be kind of a weird thing for us, because we'd be like, how do we do this? And how do we talk to these people? Because you guys don't understand, the OOCs do so much work. The ones that we love and truly do all the things that we wish that they will do. Sue is one of those people. And with people like Sue, all of us can be successful, so that we can keep doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? I got a little sideways there. I'm going to tear up. And I feel all misty-eyed right now. Isaac, you got anything left you want to throw out there, buddy?
No, I'm good. I think we said it all.
I said Isaac, not Jeffrey. Nobody wants to hear you. You know what?
Nobody.
That's what I had to say about that.
I heard you say Jeff too.
Maybe I said Jeff, but I meant Isaac.
So me and Isaac were literally just like looking at each other, going, "Who let
Yeah, I
them
was
in?"
like, what?
I'm gonna go back and listen to it. Look, drugs are bad. Okay. Isaac, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
No, I just, I want to say I'm really appreciative that y'all let me on. Thank you, Sue, for taking the time to help me run through my numbers. Thank you, Jeff, Charlie, and the boss, Mrs. Rosie.
All right.
Yeah.
Sue, Taylor said, sorry, Mrs. How can I get a hold of Sue?
I'll reach out tomorrow.
There you go, Taylor. I can't talk. She's going to reach out to you. Oh my God. It's been a long show, y'all. Jeff.
Yeah.
What do you have, buddy?
Nothing.
Rosie, my love, beautiful woman who just deals
The coffee's kicked in and my legs are cramping.
We're on fire. Well, if nobody has anything, what I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to say. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, putting up with our shenanigans and our technical issues. And I can't believe the show crashed as we started. That was just phenomenal. And thank you guys for finding the take 2 of the live update 8.9.22 version. And thank you for spending time with us and taking time out of your day to actually be a part of this. Without you guys, there's no us, really. I mean, why are we here talking to the space and stuff like that? And that would be lame and boring. So seriously, we do enjoy you guys, and we absolutely thank you all for spending time with us. That's all I got. Spending time. I'm going to say spending time with us one more time, and maybe spending time with us. Thank you, everyone. And with that, we will be back next Tuesday, like every Tuesday, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So there's going to be a weird thing on the 23rd. The 23rd of August, y'all. I am having surgery. Yep. They're going to fuse my neck in 2 different places. But here's the funny part about the 23rd. That is week 52 of our show. I will be here high as hell if need be, but I will be here one way or another. If it's for 5 minutes, I will be here just blah, blah, I got me a new neck. I just want to be happy. Hey, y'all just going to have to deal with it. But I made a commitment that I would be here every week for 52 weeks. That is week 52. I am committing to this, and I'm going to stick to this. So thank you guys one more time. Week 52, we're going to try and do something a little special for that show. And so keep tuned. Come back 6 p.m. Tuesdays right here on Contractors Corner.